WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a town square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Sixers-Celtics Game 5 tonight. Colors begins at 7:30 here on 97.3 ESPN. But right now, here on Game Night, we will get into some of the details for the game tonight. Plus, Dave Weinberg is joining us a day earlier this week. We'll get his thoughts on a few different topics like the Eagles and the Phillies. Of course, you can join the conversation. As always, text board is open at 609-403-0973 and your DMs in the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Yeah, this is basically coming down to a best-of-3 series now. And I'm not saying we have to completely dismiss everything that happened in the first 4 games, but the first 4 games are not going to change what happens now. And what happens now is these two teams have to make some tough decisions. Boston is the team that has to make the adjustments. And part of those adjustments is the fact that Jason Tatum hasn't given them a lot in this series. Is that going to change tonight? Because if it does change tonight, I would argue that Philadelphia is in trouble. Philly has been either very fortunate or done a great job at limiting Tatum's ability to impact this game. So tonight, you're going to find out a lot about how the Sixers handle the Celtics adjustments. The adjustments from game 1 to game 2 was significant. Boston did execute differently. You heard Mike Gill mention on the Sports Bash the fact that they played Grant Williams and Malcolm Brogdon more since game 1 than they did in that game 1. So we know Boston's going to make adjustments. So how does Philadelphia handle those adjustments? Well, my initial reaction, and you guys could chime in as well at 609-403-0973. I already see messages from Jeff in Ocean City and others coming in. To me, the major adjustment for the Sixers comes down to something that Coach Jim Lynam said on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill yesterday. Because he explained that the Sixers, how we put this in basketball terms, they're not playing up to the basketball card. You know, if we said in the past, hey, this baseball player has this history. Eventually, they will not always play this bad. They will eventually elevate what's on the back of the baseball card. Well, in basketball sense, Joel Embiid and a lot of his teammates are not playing at the same level of what they did in the regular season. Coach Jim Lynam yesterday on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill said this.
This team averaged 115 points, during the regular season. Now, last night, they get 116, but it took overtime to do it. In game 2 that they lost, they scored 87 points, and I think they had 104 in game 3. So that's, 87, 104 for a team that averages 115. So I mentioned, if I'm Doc and I'm the 76ers, guys, we got to figure a way to score the ball. We're not a 100-point team. That's not, you play 82 games, you establish an identity of success. And, you're not all of a sudden going to be able to shut the Boston Celtics down to keep them in the range of 100. Boston's going to score 115. So I think if they're going to be able to win 2 of these remaining 3, and we know that 2 of them are in Boston, it's a big challenge. So I think if you're going to do it, you're going to have to score some points.
I think it's a very astute point by Jim Lynam, because there's 2 things he said in there that get back to things that are very important to keep in mind in these next 3 games, what we expect to be next 3 games. Number one, I told you guys last week that Boston has not scored less than 100 points except twice since the NBA All-Star break. So as Coach Lynam said, you're not stopping Boston from scoring points. You just have to accept that the Celtics are a team that's going to score. Which gets to the second point, what he said, the beginning of what he said, which is the Sixers have to score. They have to be better offensively. And we know they can be because of what they did in the regular season. You cannot overlook the fact that the 76ers in the postseason have, frankly, played a very strange form of basketball. They have not played at the same level as they did in the regular season. If they averaged 115 points in the regular season, do you know how many times in the postseason they got to that number? 3 times. Game 1 versus the Nets, 121. Game 1 versus Boston, 119. Just on Sunday afternoon, Game 4 against Boston, 116. That 116 happened in overtime. That game ends in regulation. They're not getting that number. So the reality is that Philadelphia is underperforming based on what they showcased they are capable of. And one of the problems you had in that Game 4 on Sunday afternoon was when Philadelphia needed to hit some big shots, they were almost exclusively coming from Harden. The Philadelphia 76ers made 13 threes on Sunday. 6 of them were by Harden. I don't think that's acceptable. By the way, 3 of them were hit by Niang. So that means that 2 players, James Harden and George Niang, combined for 9 of the team's 13 three-pointers made. You need more from the other players. I need Tobias Harris to do better than 1 for 5 from 3. I need Maxey to give me more than 14 points. And Melton at his worst game of the postseason on Sunday, I need more of Game 1 Melton, where he was hitting shots and getting steals consistently, than what we saw on Sunday. Tim Legler, this afternoon on This Just In, said this about Harden and the Sixers. Take a listen.
James Harden, I don't want to discredit him anymore because he's had these 2 amazing games this postseason. We know how I feel about him in the pressure, under pressure throughout his career, right?
Same.
Those are real things. And the fact that he just did what he did the other night doesn't erase those. They did happen. It does leave a little bit of skepticism. I don't think he'll be as good as he was in 1 and 4, but he's not going to be as bad as he was in 2 and 3 either. He'll be good. Embiid, I think, is going to be strong. Tatum and Brown play great. So then you go to the next layer guys, right? Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart. Like, they have more guys that can have those big moments than Philly does. Maxey be the other guy. He's 10 for 33 in the last 2 games.
Legler's right. It's not about can Harden do it again. It's about can the other guys do it. No team wins a championship without their supporting cast stepping up. You saw it last night if you watched the Warriors-Lakers game, which you heard right here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Tuesday evening. You heard last night Lonnie Walker go off for the Lakers. Not LeBron James, not Anthony Davis, not even the former lottery pick, D'Angelo Russell last night. I said it earlier today when I was talking with Mike Gill about this. LeBron James's greatness is so incredible that LeBron had the quietest 27 points you'd ever seen. Because LeBron looked at a guy like Lonnie Walker and a guy like Austin Reeves and said, you bring us home. Reeves and Walker combined last night for 36 of the team's 104 points. So it didn't matter that Anthony Davis only scored 23. What mattered last night was that the role players stepped up for the Lakers. And the Lakers now have a 3-1 lead on the Warriors, in large part because their role players have stepped up. You go back to the game before last night. Who was the guy, the supporting cast members that stepped up? Dennis Schroeder and the aforementioned Lonnie Walker. They combined for 24 points. I need the Sixers' other guys to step up tonight. I know I'm going to get 30 plus from Embiid. I know I'm probably going to get somewhere between 24 and 36 from Harden. But I need Tyrese Maxey. I need Tobias Harris. I need DeAnthony Melton. I need these other guys to show up for this team, or they will not win tonight. Teams win championships, not individuals. 609-403. 0973 is the text word. We'll chat with Dave Weinberg coming up in about 6 minutes from now. But first, we'll get to Jeff in Ocean City, who chimes in. Says, Josh, the Sixers have lost 6 straight round 2 game 5s. Boston, I think, wins tonight, but I'm still confident Sixers will win in 7. In Doc, I trust. That's Jeff in Ocean City. Well, there's 2 very different things there, Jeff. Number one, I want to grab what you say at the end of that text. In Doc, I trust. How many people out there actually do trust Doc Rivers? Because we have been through in this fan base. Nobody liked Brett Brown. Nobody believes in Doc Rivers. Again and again, it's always the coach is the problem. So for Jeff at Ocean City to say, in Doc, I trust, that's a big statement by a Sixers fan. Because for a Sixers fan, they have been told time and time again that the coach stinks, it's the coach's fault, blah, blah, blah. I think so far in this series, Doc has done a good job. I again say the problem is that the supporting members of the Embiid and Harden 1-2 punch has not consistently stepped up, filled the void, and done their job. So, Doc, you can trust him. I just don't know if I can trust the other guys. I think that's what concerns me. The other thing that Jeff in Ocean City said is that the Phillies lost 6 straight round 2 game 5s. That stat means nothing to me. And I can't take what happened to teams that had people like Ben Simmons on it and compare it to this team. Ben Simmons was a freakishly talented athlete who was mentally and emotionally a child. So whatever happened in the past, I'm dismissing it. Joey D. and Ventnor chimes in and says, I like to see fast transition points from Maxey, Melton, and Harris. Drive to the hoop, frustrate the Celtics in the paint. Celtics slow to get back on defense, especially late in games. That's from Joey D. Listen, I just told Mike Gill this about 30 minutes ago. I was saying that the Sixers need to attack Jaylen Brown. He got 2 early fouls in the last game. Go after him in this game. Joey D, you're right. It's the idea that push the pace. You dictate the game. You make them play on your terms and not theirs. Sixers tonight, 7:30 p.m. Tom McGinnis on the call here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up next, it's not on Weinberg Wednesday, but Dave Weinberg joins us on a Tuesday here on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle.
Here's what you missed on Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
Shefty is like ball of energy, racing around with all his phones at one time, and he's got 8 million things going on. Woj is the opposite. Woj will be sitting in the room, he's eating, he's talking, he's chatting with everyone, and all of a sudden, and he'll get up and he'll walk out the door. A minute later on his Twitter feed, there's some enormous breaking story. I've come to learn when he leaves the room, something's about to happen.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
O'Reilly. Get your vehicle ready for spring during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pro X1 exterior cleaning and detailing products provide professional results and show quality shine for your vehicle. Right now, pick up Pro X1 Snow Foam Car Wash 2 for just $15. See store for details. Pro X1 exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321321. That's ROCK to 321321.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Why would someone looking for a mortgage at the Jersey Shore take a loan from a company in Detroit or North Carolina or some other far-off place? Online mortgages promise a lot, but don't always deliver. First Bank of Sea Isle City knows the Jersey Shore. We are local lenders. We use local appraisers and provide in-house processing. We understand the unique obstacles of financing in Cape May County. Don't take a chance. Local banking is better. Let us guide you. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We'll get you guys more of your guys' messages a little bit later this hour. I see Shaner from EHC chiming in. Of course, keep them coming. 609-403-0973. That is the text board, or you can DM the show to the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Right now, we're usually joined by Dave Weinberg on Wednesdays, but he was kind enough to move to a Tuesday this week as we are in a very interesting time of year, and Dave's always a fun person to talk about those things as he joins us right now. Of course, check out all of his extra point columns over at 973ESPN.com. Dave, welcome in. That is a very bright, sunny shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, it's from my trip to Florida. We always make sure we stop at the Margaritaville in Orlando. And yeah, this was my birthday present from my wife.
Yeah, for the radio audience, Dave's yellow shirt is not like a normal, it is bright yellow. I mean, that is.
Yeah, you can't lose me in the crowd, that's for sure.
Well, I was gonna say you are willing summer into existence right now with that shirt.
Trying my best.
Dave, obviously it's a very interesting time of year with all the overlapping sports, but I wanted to start with this. The NFL schedule is coming out on Thursday. Of course, the NFL makes a huge deal about this.
Yeah.
For you, how do you feel about some of these leaks coming out? Like Donna Kelsey putting out there some of the games, people saying that, the Eagles are going to play on Black Friday versus the Giants. Like, for you, as someone who covered the Eagles for as long as you did, is this time of year as exasperating as the NFL draft silly season?
Probably more so. I mean, yeah, it wasn't that way, years ago, but as the years went on, and like you said, the league makes a bigger deal out of it, and they have a a primetime special, and you always had to make sure that you had the schedule in time to get it into the paper, and I used to have to. Well, I'm probably going to do it again this year, but making a prediction for each game, which is totally ridiculous, but it's just something fun, silly to do.
Yeah.
I would always just check to see if the Eagles are, if I'm spending my Thanksgiving in Dallas or Detroit or what have you, and then Christmas Day, same thing. So it's just strictly like personal reasons for me. But other than that, I mean, they're going to play. You just got to sit back and say where and when for each week.
Yeah, I don't get too into like the wins and losses when the schedule comes out. I get more
yeah.
I get more into the curious of like when the road trips are, like when where in the schedule are they? Because one of the conversations we had last year is, hey, you're starting the year on the road, or after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Remember, it was Game 2 going down to Tampa, right? So
right.
It's stuff like that interests me to see the ebb and flow of a schedule, because to me, the ebb and flow is more important than trying to figure out the wins and losses. Because Dave, momentum and how a season flows is probably one of the most important things in the NFL.
Yeah, the more you can probably pretty much count on now that all the NFC East games will be at the end of the year, or most of them anyway. It seems like they always try to build that drama so that the division's going to be on the line, or ideally the division will be on the line at the end of the year. But I was personally, I was looking for the good golf trips and stuff. Now that they're playing, the warm weather cities, hoping they're going to be, when they are, and hopefully they would go to see maybe like Dallas in September, October, so it wouldn't be too cold. And no, they're playing in LA this year, so that's always a huge trip for fans. I mean, there's always groups that plan one big trip a year, and I know Atlantic City Mayor Marty Small does one a year. I gotta figure that maybe LA would be their choice this year. I don't know. I to be honest with you, I forget where else they're playing on the road of the division, but that would figure to be a pretty big trip for Eagles fans, I would think.
They're playing at the Jets too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Well, yeah. Now with Aaron Rodgers there, that's going to be a big deal.
Right. Exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I specifically remember that because we just did the giveaway a couple weeks ago with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash.
Oh, right.
The
you got
trip.
your choice, right? You got your choice between the Giants or the Jets or something. Yeah. That sounds pretty neat. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know about other people, but like, I know some people, they probably really want to go see the Jets because of Aaron Rodgers. If it was me, I would pick a division opponent, but that's just me.
Right. This stadium's disgraceful. I think. I don't know. MetLife just doesn't do it for me.
Well, Washington's worse.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. It's awful. Yep. No doubt about it. Parking's terrible, seating's terrible, everything about it is terrible.
I mean, I haven't been to every NFL stadium, but I've heard from a lot of people that Washington is the worst stadium in the NFL.
Oh, it is. I've been to every one except for the new LA stadium. and the Indianapolis was playing in their old one when the RCA Dome, I guess it was, or something, when
Right.
the last time I was there. But I've been to every other one, and I mean, that's easily the worst, I would think. I mean, it's just like like the Oakland Coliseum used to be terrible. I'm sorry, I haven't been to Vegas' stadium either. I'd like to get there one day. But I mean, Oakland Coliseum, everybody would bitch and moan about it, about being a dump. But I always thought it was so cool. The atmosphere, really, like, fans are really, the Raiders fans were like unlike anything you could ever see. And the stadium fit the fan base there. And I always look forward to it. A lot of people didn't like it though.
Yeah, well, it's almost like the Vet back in like the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
It fit the personality of the fans and the players.
Absolutely.
If that 93 Phillies team didn't play at the Vet, it would probably look and feel a little different, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
if it wasn't Buddy Ryan, it wasn't Buddy Ryan and those teams in the 80s and 90s, on the turf, it's like a vibe that goes with the arena.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. And you're right about that. The Phillies, with the Dyksters and Daltons and stuff. Yeah, they definitely were made for the Vet. That's definitely true.
Yeah, you run faster on turf, they say. So
until you blow out your ACLs. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, everything's going great until your foot gets caught in that one little seam, and then boom, your season's over.
I was actually at the game where the Eagles played the Bears, and their wide receiver Wendell Tyler tore both knees in one play. He when he was going up for a pass, came down, popped one knee, came down, the other one blew out too.
Yeah, well, remember Carson Wentz played on 2 sprained ankles because he's Carson Wentz. So,
well, two torn ACLs is a little different, I think.
I know. I had an opportunity to throw some shade at Carson Wentz, so I took advantage.
There you go. Yeah, you can't never give that up. That's true.
Dave Weinberg joining me here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter. Dave, I want to ask you about the Phillies because people have been critical about Kyle Schwarber being the leadoff hole. Rob Thompson made the change on Sunday, and Schwarber hits a Schwarber bomb. And it looks like they're going to stick with that lineup moving forward because it's the same lineup again today. Stott, Turner, Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber, Real Muto, Bohm, Marsh, Sosa. Do you think that's the right lineup?
I do, yeah. I mean, I know Schwarber led off most of last year, and I know that he did it with the Cubs as well. But Tim, and just as a traditionalist, I guess, baseball guy, he's not a leadoff hitter. He doesn't get on base enough. He doesn't steal bases. I just don't think he belonged there. I mean, you want a guy who's like going to lay down a bunt or something, or slap a single and try and steal second, or try to work the pitcher for a walk, that kind of thing, to set the table for the rest of the lineup. And he just never did it. It was either home run or strikeout, and that's better suited for the middle of the lineup, I think. I totally agree with Stott at the top.
Yeah, the only thing about Stott at the top is that it's Turner behind him. It's the idea that you have.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Turner there either. Yeah, that's right. You're right though. Yep.
It's the fact that you're putting that young guy with the protection behind him. Like, one of the things I remember drove me nuts years ago was when you had certain players at the top of a lineup, and like the number 2 hitter was like some mediocre nothing guy because they want to put other people 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I always used to think you need to protect guys in your lineup. You don't just leave the leadoff hitter out there. Like, I remember it used to be in Atlanta. It used to be like a Kenny Loft to be the top of the lineup, and the number 2 hitter would be like Jeff Blauser or Mark Lemke. And I used to think, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's usually the 2 guys who's going to lay down a sacrifice bunt to get the leadoff guy to second, I guess.
Right.
But you need somebody with a little more offensive ability up there. That's true. I agree with you there. Yep.
Like, I'm actually working through the Ricky Henderson biography right now. And
really? He's one of my favorite players. I'd love to read that.
Yeah, it's by Howard Bryant. It came out a few months ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because one of the things it talks about in the book is when Ricky was in Oakland the first time, not the second time, the first time, that guys were so begrudging of having to take pitches with him on base because he wanted to steal bases and get the record. and that the veteran players were all like, grumpy toward him because, Billy Martin was like pushing him to help get him the record, and it was forced other guys to like take pitches so he could steal bases.
Really? I would think they would be like, I think they'd be thrilled to have him on second and try to, drive him in. I mean, that's kind of odd. I guess that's kind of odd to me that they would.
I don't want to give it all away. Yeah, I don't want to give it all away, but you got to read the book because the book goes into Ricky and his relationships with other people. It's weird, man. It's like,
he's a different dude. Yeah, that's true.
Like you think it's weird, and then you read the book and you're like, nah, it's really weird. Like the in sport dynamics. Like you've been in tons of locker rooms, Dave. Like the in locker room dynamics of a Ricky Henderson with other people, or like a Ricky Henderson and Billy Martin, or a Ricky Henderson versus George Steinbrenner kind of thing. Like, all those different, dynamics. It's, I mean, I'm only up to the trade of him going back to Oakland in '89 right now. And all I keep thinking in my mind is, I still got like 15 more years of this guy's career to go. Like,
yeah. I don't know. He was just the way he played the game, like just so reckless and exciting. I was always drawn to him. I mean, I know he's a weird guy, definitely marched to his own drummer, but just that sheer speed, and he was probably a little better what people give him credit for. He was more than just stealing bases, although that's what he's known for. But I thought he was a pretty good all around player personally, and he was one of my favorites years ago.
Well, I definitely recommend reading the book. Yeah, I finished.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I finished the Bo Jackson book, and now I'm reading the Ricky Henderson book. So I'm going from one freakazoid athlete to another.
How was Bo's book?
The Bo book had a lot of stuff I didn't know about, honestly. There was a lot of interesting stories in there. I didn't realize how twisted his like childhood was, how like messed up it was.
Oh, really?
And like basically like his childhood was a big reason why, like, for example, for those who don't know, Bo Jackson, when he got older, didn't like to go out. He wanted to go home to be with his family because he had this idea that like, well, I went through the phase of going out in college. Now I'm going to be a family man because when I was a kid, I didn't have a dad. Like it got him so twisted that he never liked going out, and his teammates held it against him because like, hey man, you're supposed to be part of the guys. You're supposed to be with us and going out with us. And he was like, nah, I'm going home. And like some guys didn't like it. And George Brett actually had to defend him at times to people and be like, hey man, I respect him for being a family man. Carlton Fisk did the same thing. The veteran guys like that, they defended Bo, but like, hey, this guy values being with his family. You shouldn't hate him for that.
Well, that's interesting. Very cool. Yeah, you never know what a guy went through to get where he is. You have to respect his background and that kind of stuff. That's definitely true.
Yeah, I definitely recommend both books. The Ricky book by Howard Bryant, which is tons of detail, and then I forget the name of the Bo Jackson book, but it's by Jeff Pearlman. So, and Pearlman does a great job with his book.
Yes, he does. Yep, definitely. Yep. I'm currently reading a book called The Odds, about these. This was years ago, like probably like 20 years ago. These guys were degenerate gamblers and moved to Vegas to see. They figured they were experts at sports betting. So I'm kind of like halfway through that. That's very interesting too, though. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, well, now I've given you 2 books to read when you're done with that. So
yeah, yep, there you go. It's my beach reading for this summer. That's good.
But back to the Phillies, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about Ranger Suarez coming back? Do you have any concerns that this guy is, going to be take a while to get back up to speed here?
Probably he will. Yeah. It seems like the pitching has struggled to the point where everybody's like so excited to have him back, like he's like the second coming of Sandy Koufax or something. I don't know how he got so good in people's minds, but I guess they're just thinking anything's better than what they're trying out there now on a consistent basis. So I think the danger is probably like trying to rush him though, or trying to push him too much. I definitely think you should take your time with him and let him ease his way back in.
I mean, I know people don't like Bailey Falter. They're all griping over him, but like I keep bringing up like Bailey Falter's run support is 2.29 this year.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he had a bad game the other day, but he had a perfect game going after 3 innings, so you can't really I don't know. Then it went off the rails pretty quickly, but
well, right.
Yeah,
but like at some point, like Dave, weren't we all told by the guy who runs the team, Dave Dombrowski? He said, hey, we are going to hit our way to winning games. So it's like, well, where's the offense for Bailey Falter?
True. I mean, you should be able to win 8-7 games or 9-8 games or something like that. There's going to be days where your pitchers aren't on, and it's up to that offense. It's like you said, it's the lineup's supposed to be loaded. So why don't they, carry a team once in a while?
Yeah, it's just bizarre to me that like people want to blame the pitcher sometimes when it's actually the hitter's fault. Or they want to blame like a coach for a guy missing a shot. It's like I never understood let's blame somebody else who actually has nothing to do with what happened.
Yeah, they always like to blame somebody other than what's really true. That's true. Yep.
All right, Dave, before I let you go, I want to ask you, do the Sixers win tonight?
I don't know which James Harden's going to show up. I think, I don't think they're going to win the series, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they're going to lose tonight and then maybe win game 6. I don't know. That's if they have any shot at winning, obviously they have to win tonight though. I mean, but I don't, I'll go ahead and I'll take the Celtics tonight. How about you?
All right. Well, I had the Sixers winning in 7 originally, so I'm sticking with that prediction. I'm just going to hang with it until further notice. Because at the end of the day, I thought PJ Carlissimo brought up a great point the other day. He said that the fact that both teams have won games on the other team's court to him, he feels home court advantage is out the door. So it's more about who's going to show up on a night-to-night basis, like you were saying with Harden. Like,
true.
Hey, if the Harden from Sunday shows up tonight, they're probably going to win, right?
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah. I mean, he's been lights out the 2 games they won and been terrible the 2 games they lost. So yeah. It's he's the X factor, I think, definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely Jekyll and Hyde, that James Harden.
Did you watch the Kentucky Derby, by the way?
I did not watch a single second of it. I got the update on my phone after I walked out of the movie theater.
Oh, okay. What'd you see?
I want to say Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, never mind. Okay. I thought maybe you were going to tell me like the George Foreman movie or something. Then I would have, okay.
No, I went and saw the recent movies I've seen is I went and saw the Air movie about Jordan signing with Nike a month ago. I saw the movie Chevalier about the violin virtuoso from France who history tried to stomp out because he was a black man, basically, from the 1700s.
Interesting.
And then I saw Guardians because I'm a Marvel guy, so I watched that.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
All right.
I'm all over the place.
Oh, very good. You're very well varied. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I have a diversified mental portfolio, I like to call it.
Well, there you go. I mean, you get enough sports during the day, right? Time to branch out in the weekends. And
yeah,
stuff.
got to do something else, whether it's just if somebody who's one dimensional, they're usually some of the most boring people in the world. So
that's the truth. Yeah, very true.
He's Dave Weinberg, who is not one-dimensional, who joins us each week here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. At Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter. Extra Point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. Dave, appreciate you making the time today. We'll talk soon.
Oh, thanks, Josh. As always, I appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
And of course, our conversation with Dave Weinberg being brought to you by Jenkins & Sons. One call does it all. No need to call the drain guy, the heater guy, or the plumbing guy. Jenkins technicians have got you covered. From new heating and air installation, service and maintenance, ductless air conditioning systems, water heaters, boilers, drain cleaning services, leak repairs. Just call 609-641-6440 and visit them online at JenkinsandSons.com. GameNight.com.
It's Sixers-Celtics Game 5 tonight on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the 76ers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
We found a way to win. That's all that matters in the postseason. So get better and be ready to go and see some things that we can get better at and be ready to go for Game 5.
It's Sixers playoff basketball on your radio home of the Sixers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN. Your play-by-play home for Sixers playoff basketball. Coverage begins at 7:30.
0 down, 0% financing, and $7,000 off MSRP on every clearly marked Matt Blatt Nissan in stock.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Stuck in a loan or lease? AJ the Trade Man can get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, with 0 down and 0% financing on every Nissan Rogue for 36 months, even 0% for 60 months, plus $7,000 off MSRP on every Nissan Titan in stock. And don't forget, AJ the Trade Man will get you more for your trade, so you can drive a brand new Nissan. And of course, the Matt Blatt Nissan Peace of Mind. 4-day love it or leave it return policy. Only at MattBlattNissan.com. On approved Tier 1 credit through NEMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 doc fee. Offers can't be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 6/3/2023. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now let's see what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policy is... Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects... There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or apply. Stop, opt out.
If your monthly cell phone bill is out of control, then listen closely, because you could now instantly save $600 a year or more on your cell phone bill just by switching to Red Pocket Mobile. Text HUGE to 200-300 right now to start saving huge money every month on your cell phone bill. Plans start as low as $10 a month. Yep, I said $10 a month. And with Red Pocket, you're in control of your plan. You keep the same phone and same number with amazing nationwide coverage and no long-term commitments. For nearly 20 years, Red Pocket has been earning 5-star reviews by giving customers choice, flexibility, and huge savings on their cell phone plans. So don't wait. Switching to Red Pocket is fast and easy. Text HUGE to 200-300 right now, and you could save $600 or more every year on your cell phone bill. Text HUGE to 200-300 right now to get an exclusive link for an additional 50% off. Text the word HUGE to 200-300. Text HUGE to 200-300.
We are here with Dr. Scott Hernberg, Medical Director and founder of Tomorrow's Wellness Center in Northfield, one of our 97.3 ESPN industry aces. Dr. Hernberg, tell us about Tomorrow's Wellness Center.
We offer the most advanced technology and evidence-based practices in a holistic and integrative manner to provide optimal health and wellness. We strive passionately to make folks look and feel their best.
You treat ED. How common is ED?
Erectile dysfunction is a very common disorder, particularly as men begin to age. Typically, about 40% of men experience some form of erectile dysfunction.
And what does Tomorrow's Wellness Center do for ED?
We use a protocol called the Gainswave therapy. What this therapy involves is low-intensity shock waves that are essentially sound waves. It's natural, essentially painless procedure used to improve the blood flow as well as to improve the sensitivity.
Dr. Scott Hernberg from Tomorrow's Wellness Center in Northfield. You can find out more at tomorrowswellnesscenter.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
DQ presents The Sound of Summer Calling.
Hey, it's me, Summer. I know you're busy with Beach Days Little League games and all the other fun in the sun, but you gotta get to DQ ASAP Pronto right now. The new Summer Blizzard menu is here, and it brought 5 iconic summer flavors, like new peanut butter puppy chow and s'mores. Oh yeah, it's back. Oh, that's my other line. Everyone is pumped about this new DQ Summer Blizzard menu. I gotta go. See ya, DQ.
Get it in the app. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Hey, doctor, not a real customer. Quote based on the healthy, non-smoking 44-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Welcome to Ethos, a new kind of insurance company that believes life insurance should be hassle-free, affordable, and accessible for everyone.
For around $1 a day, I got a 20-year, $250,000 term life insurance policy without a medical exam. All I had to do was answer a few health questions and snap, family protected. It was quick and easy. Ethos is 100% online. I got a quote in seconds, applied in minutes, and got coverage in hours. Just answer a few health questions. No medical exam, no blood tests, no hassle. Look, nobody wants to plan for the unthinkable, but it would be so much worse to not plan at all. So don't put it off. It feels great having the peace of mind knowing that my family is protected.
Ethos, the 100% online hassle-free way to get affordable life insurance. Don't wait. Get your free online quote now at ethoslife.com. That's ethoslife.com.
Time to tee it up at the 40th Annual Ranch Hope Wranglers Golf Tournament, Friday, June 2nd at Centerton Golf Club, presented by Woodruff Energy. Proceeds will benefit Ranch Hope's youth activities. Ranch Hope is entering its 59th year serving the youth and families of New Jersey. The tournament is made possible by Comtech Systems, PSEG Nuclear, Mannington Flooring, Atlantic City Electric, First National Bank of Elmer, SJ Water Conditioning, Heritage Dairy Stores, RCL Solar, Foster Carney Foundation, and Pennsville Bank. Let's tee it up for Ranch Hope. Sponsor and player registrations at ranchhope.org.
Now, more Game Night with
All right, as you know, I'd like to hear from you guys throughout the show. The Power Hour known as GameNight on 93 ESPN. Being brought to you by Jenkins and Sons. Give them a call at 609-641-6440 to reach the drain guy, the heater guy, or the plumbing guy. Just call Jenkins or visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. Sixers basketball tonight, 7:30 here on 97.3 ESPN. Painter and EHP chimes in and says, Doc Rivers doesn't handle the basketball in the game. Those who actually play the game need to step up. I agree. It's all about those who actually handle the basketball. That's from Shaner and EHP. You know, Shaner, I think the part of the reason why people want to blame other people, except for the people who are in charge, is because they're, and you know, I know for some of you out there, you're probably going to roll your eyes. Give me about 30 seconds to guide people, okay? There is a habit in our society to create problems when there are not problems. It's a very, very nasty habit. And instead of criticizing or critiquing people for the things they actually do wrong, we create things because we live in a world that's based on boogeyman. There's always a bad guy. There's always a villain. You know, I mentioned I'm a big Marvel movie guy. I watch all those comic book movies, right? But it doesn't matter what, you know, fictional reality. You could be a Harry Potter person. You could be a Star Wars person. You could be, you know, somebody who loves Game of Thrones. The idea of there being a villain and a person to blame for something, it is a serious crime, basically. So, you know, I mean, for goodness sake, if you're someone who's read the Bible, you know that, you know, how does it go? You know, Eve ate the apple, she blamed one person. Adam ate the apple, he blamed Eve, she blamed the serpent. Everybody likes to blame somebody. So at the end of the day, it's human nature to want to blame somebody instead of being objectively critical of people or a series or event or something like that. So people blame Doc Rivers. At the end of the day, they don't buy Doc Rivers' jersey and wear it to the game. They buy the players' jersey. They're less likely to blame those guys. And because a lot of people think whether they're right or wrong, I'm not going to get into an argument about that. It's a case by case basis. But the general fan feels like the state. All right. I have never been out with a group of people watching a game and somebody didn't make a comment that this coach shouldn't have done X. I would have done Y. And I'm going to tell you it's because of this. Happens all the time. It doesn't matter what sport you're watching, where you go, what the group is. There's somebody in the group who is at some point going to criticize the decision by a coach. And they're going to say, that guy's dumb, or that guy didn't make the right decision, or I would have never made a decision if I was in his shoes. So at the end of the day, the coach is the easy part. And that's a blood coach. It just is what it is. I don't think it's a, hey, for example, Dan in EHT when he chimes in, or Jeff in Ocean City when he chimes in. I don't think it's they are stupid or they're dumb. I hate that kind of that false bravado that people try to have on radio and television sometimes. Okay, it, to me it's about common sense, and I always love to ask the question: if the person sitting at home or the person out at the local establishment, if they watch a game and they see something that the coach doesn't see, to me, I think that's a valid question to ask. Look at the Eagles. The reason why Eagle fans had a beef with John Gannon is because deep down, while watching the game, there are many fans who say there's a moment in the game, there's something that happens that they're like, why is this happening? Why are they doing this? I know they're better than this. And what happens is then they turn on the radio or they watch TV. They flip on 97.3 ESPN in the morning. They jump on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And they see people who are supposed to be experts who are giving opinions and thoughts. And those opinions and thoughts are more subjective than objective. And so the fan out there latches onto it and says, yeah, you're right, because I didn't like when Gannon did this. It's not that John Gannon's stupid or Doc Rivers is stupid, but they may have done something in the game that is, frankly, not smart. It doesn't mean that they are the worst coach in the world or they can't win. Like, I can't stand when people bring up that Doc Rivers has blown all these leads in the playoffs because, number one, it's like a pitcher who pitches for a really long time. You're going to have a lot of losses. You pitch in the major leagues for 20 years and average 25 starts over those 20 years. You're probably going to have a lot of losses. Well, Doc Rivers has basically been around basketball longer than some people listening to the sound of my voice have been alive between playing and coaching. And so, of course, he's going to have blown 3-1 series leads when he's literally coached the Magic, the Celtics, the Clippers, and the Sixers over the course of 20 years. He's going to have at least one or two of them. Steve Kerr lost one. He was down 3-1 in a series, lost once, came back another time. Doesn't mean he's a bum. The problem for Doc is that not all those series were equal. When he was up 3-1, it was with the 8-seed Magic, and they ended up losing the series to the 1 seed. All right. Happens, right? Not the craziest thing in the world. When he had the 1 series lead with the Clippers and the 1 series lead with the Celtics, guys got injured. He ran out of bodies, basically. So that was a reason for them. And then the 1 series lead, when the Clippers lost in the bubble, it has been documented that Paul George basically didn't want to be there anymore. And a lot of guys, their mental health was so twisted in the bubble, they couldn't pay attention. They couldn't focus. They couldn't get the job done. And Doc Rivers, he gets the L next to their column, not the players. All right. Hopefully the Sixers win tonight. If they don't, they'll probably win Game 6, and we'll have the 7th game on Sunday. Tom McGinnis, on the call, 7:30 here on 97.3 ESPN. I'm Josh Hennig. Have a great night, everybody.
The Warriors fall once again on the road, dropping games 3 and 4 to the Lakers in Los Angeles. Now they return to San Francisco for a must-win Game 5. Will they survive? Coverage begins tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
I don't think this series is over. I think it's going to take one hell of a knockout punch to knock out the defending champion, especially when they're going back home. So they're still right there. It's still going to be a series.
Listen to the NBA playoffs exclusively on 97.3 ESPN.